Ross Bolen Podcast.
You better listen.
Welcome back to the Ross Bolen Podcast, otherwise known as RBP, presented by Bolen Media. I am your host, Ross Bolen, back again, as always, with your co-host, Chris Coulson.
Happy Monday, gang. Ross.
Oh, sound less enthusiastic.
Happy Monday, gang. Ross.
Thank you. If you're new here, our comedy podcast has been around for a few years now. Every week on Monday and Wednesday, we discuss mental health, current events, sports, music, history, animals, and more. Right here on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, or wherever you are listening and or watching. Every Friday, we release an exclusive episode on Patreon, which is a platform that allows us the ability to put out an ad-free podcast every Friday, propped up directly by financial support from you, our loving listeners, the RBP gang. So hit patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast today to support the show and get an ad-free episode this Friday, last Friday, every damn Friday. Imagine Fridays without RBP.
Couldn't be me.
Cannot. RBP 335 is brought to you by Liquid IV. Staying hydrated throughout the day can be a real pain in the ass, right? Well, you lose your cup. Maybe you never had a cup to begin with. Life is hard. You're busy. How many times have you gone a day and been like, shit, did I drink any water?
All the time, every day.
Believe it or not, dehydration occurs daily in 3 out of 4 people. That's a whopping
75%.
75% if my math is correct, and it just has been checked, so it is. With Liquid IV, you have the fastest, most efficient way to stay hydrated. Each serving helps you get as much hydration as 2 to 3 bottles of water. I've been drinking this stuff for a few years now. It's phenomenal. At this point, you should all know Liquid IV for their popular hydration drink mix. Well, they've just launched their newest line, Energy Multiplier, with roughly 100 milligrams of clean caffeine. It's the perfect coffee replacement and an all-natural alternative to processed energy drinks for a sustained energy boost throughout the day. Also, Liquid IV is on a mission to change the world by donating 2.3 million servings in response to COVID-19. Products are being donated to hospitals, first responders, food banks, veterans, and active military. Liquid IV is available nationwide at Costco, or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code ROSS at checkout. ROSS, as in the Ross Bolen Podcast, but just Ross. Liquidiv.com, code ROSS. 25% off anything when you order, and use the promo code ROSS at liquidiv.com. Get better hydration today at liquidiv.com, promo code ROSS. Must I say it again? No, I mustn't. Time for some announcements and shouts. Coles, you got one here.
I do have one.
It's a birthday.
It is.
Hit us with it.
Happy birthday to Isaiah. I'm terribly sorry for missing on your birthday last week. I was a little late for it, and in repayment, I owe you my soul eternally. So,
oh, wow.
give me a
That's
call.
a harsh punishment for...
I would say humbly, though.
Is this
Humbly-
somebody you know
humbly
personally?
present- No,
Or you fucked him and didn't get him on the show last week?
I didn't get him on the show last week.
Chris,
so
I do
feel
that
like-
to roughly 45 people a month. Don't
How
feel
many-
bad.
So you keep handing out your soul, or you don't
Nope.
do... No?
I just do the birthday shout out late,
Okay.
and sometimes I say belated,
Oh,
or sometimes I just don't say
you
shit.
think
It's
I'm
like
doing
look, you get it when you get it.
I'm doing a little too much, maybe.
There's no like expiration date on a happy birthday.
He's a Virgo, so
If you-
happy Virgo season.
If you've asked for it, underrated Ludacris song, Virgo.
Haven't heard it, I'm going to be honest. I would say,
I would
Yeah,
try to
honestly, I
sing it
haven't
right
heard
now, but
many.
it's Monday and I'm not mentally ready for that type of performance.
sadly, I know Ludacris probably more for his roles in The Fast and the Furious than his songs back in the day. I mean,
Another
just
generational difference.
Yeah, except,
Luda!
Baby, with Justin Bieber.
Okay. I once ate dinner like 6 feet from Ludacris.
Really?
Tiny human.
Really?
Teensy tiny.
Like
Baby.
5'3"? Like,
Like shockingly small. Like Tom Cruise. Like
Wow.
you're just like, holy shit.
how are you?
Luda! You're very short. Anyway, congratulations on that whole soul thing there, Isaiah.
Yeah, give me a text. We'll figure it out. Details.
Episodes should be available on SoundCloud again for all of our SoundCloud preferring listeners. They were gone for a few weeks, maybe a couple months there. Nobody knows. Who's to say? And they're all back on SoundCloud. If you have any issues, holler at me on social media at WRBolen. If you want your show somewhere, if you want to listen to the podcast somewhere and it's not available, holler at me. I will see that it gets there. Thank you. Again, at WRBolen on all social media. Let me know if you have some weird fucking app. You're like, I like to listen to that on Pod Grabber. That might actually be real. Then let me know, and I'll holler at Pod Grabber. see what I need to do to get the show on there. You can watch our show at youtube.com/Bolen Media. Did you know? Did you know? We wave at the cameras now. It's proof. This is being recorded. Really, it is us.
But you wouldn't know that if you're just listening, so you should probably go on youtube.com.
Yeah, it could be legit anybody.
Media. Yeah, you don't know. Could be doppelgangers.
Like when I went to that Kanye show and he had the mask on the whole time, like
Yeah.
the Da Vinci mask that covered his whole face or whatever, like, that could have been anybody.
That was me. Did
Ended
you
up
know
being
that?
him. He took it off eventually. But yeah, youtube.com/Bolen Media. Also, you can see our shining faces on Twitch every week, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday at 7 p.m. Central. Every Sunday, every Tuesday, every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time, and sometimes randomly throughout the week as well. Who are we kidding? Always randomly throughout the week as well. Twitch.tv/BossRollin. We play Call of Duty Warzone. We play Fall Guys. We've been mixing in this new game called Among Us, which is very fun. Many people are obsessed with it. Many people are saying it's the new wave. Many people are annoying when they murder me is in the first fucking 10 seconds of the game, and I'm hosting the fucking entire stream. But whatever, man. Whatever.
Ross throws his own pity party in chat after that happens.
Well,
Like,
fair.
oh, sad. I got killed again for a time.
Yeah, that's true.
Aw.
We play with up to 8 podcast listeners at a time. We always try to work in podcast listeners to play with us on Warzone and Fall Guys and Among Us as well. Twitch.tv/BossRollin. Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central. It's time for our first segment. Who is Blippi, and why did he poop on someone?
Ooh. We're getting hot and heavy.
So let's just say, for the sake of my privacy, I have been dating an amazing woman who will remain unnamed. She has a little girl who I love very much, who's almost 2 years old, and she's obsessed with this show called Blippi.
Mm.
It's on Amazon. It's on YouTube. It's on Hulu. It's on his website, Blippi's website. Blippi's a man, by the way. He's a human man.
Okay.
This isn't animated. It's a children's show. It's a man, Blippi.
Yes.
There's almost definitely an app you can watch it. More on that in a moment, though. So I'm watching this show with her for the first time a while back. And I'm like, this is the most bizarre shit. It's basically like a broke man's Blues Clues with no animation, but it's this goofy dude in like suspenders and a stupid hat with a whirly thing on the top of it, a whirly gig.
A whirly gig.
For all the Fall Guys players. And then, he's just, you know, he looks like a goof, a big goof.
Kind of like
right?
a modern equivalent of what Urkel would wear. Kind of dresses similar. Suspenders.
He's like Pee
bright
Wee Herman,
suspenders.
but like Pee Wee was like Pee Wee was creepy and weird. You don't know who Pee Wee Herman is, do you? Pee Wee Herman was
look
like
him up,
this
though.
notorious children's show guy, all right? But he was like this. He was older because this is a 32-year-old man doing
Yeah.
this show as
Yeah.
Blippi, okay?
Okay, I recognize.
So
Pee
it was
Wee
a little
Herman.
weird because Pee Wee was like a little weird, and it was like, what the fuck? And then he was in Blow, and he says great lines in Blow, many, many great lines, and many people are saying that he had some of the best lines in Blow. Love him. Pee Wee Herman then got caught masturbating in a movie theater at one point. That's neither here nor there. Similarly, we're going to talk about Blippi. No masturbation, to my knowledge, but we will get to some other bad news about Blippi. Pee Wee Herman was a little off-putting, though. It was always like, what's the deal with this older dude who does this really goofy show where he's really silly all the time? And it's like, like how could you act like that all the time and
Yeah.
not be an insane person, right? So Blippi is like that.
Yes.
Like he's like running around like, hey kids, look, the balls, wow! And he like picks up 2 balls and he'll be like, wow, look at me, I can throw the balls. And you're like, well, shit, this dude's deranged. But then he bounces straight to like the next activity. He's like, look, a monster truck, and whoa! And then it like speeds up and it fast forwards and it slows down into slow motion, and you're just like, Blippi, what's your fucking deal? Is it cocaine? Is it meth? Are there pills? Because it's not normal, your energy levels, sir.
It's like this is like the antithesis of the girls on TikTok that act like little like baby girls. Have you seen this trend?
You know I haven't seen this. Just like I know you haven't seen Pee Wee Herman, you should know I haven't seen this TikTok trend.
Okay, well, a lot of people out there know what I'm talking about, but it's
That's fine. A lot of people know about Pee Wee Herman.
just for the. So I was introduced to Blippi this morning by Ross. Gave me a little taste before the power went out. But we'll get that. We'll get to that later.
We were watching Blippi when the power went out. It
So,
might have been God.
That's what I'm saying. God said, you don't need to be watching this shit. So when Ross was describing it to me before I saw it, I was assuming this was like a studio type thing. Like this man is like by himself.
You were thinking
sitting
Robin
in a chair.
Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire at the table with the dinosaurs doing the noises and the songs.
Yes, similar to that. Like something where he's by himself in a enclosed area like a studio recording himself doing activities. That's not what this is.
Now, he should be in an enclosed area called prison. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, debatably.
Maybe.
Debatably. We'll see. We'll find out in the future, near future. I mean, he's nearing 10 million subscribers. This is when thing blows up one way or the other.
Yep.
But no, he's not in a studio. He's going to, like, children's public playpens and just, like, going in there and playing with the kids.
So, like, I showed Cole's episode 1. And in season 1, episode 1, like, essentially the story behind this guy, all right? So, like, let me get into this. All right?
Dive in.
I'm watching more and more of this Blippi dude and his psychotic behavior on this TV show, and eventually I'm like, all right, I got to Google this dude and find out what's what. And it turns out there's a lot of what. First of all, this was not just some random show on Amazon that this little girl loves, like that she just happened to stumble upon or whatever. He has 9.7 million YouTube subscribers. He's pretty well established. Now, I'll tell you, that number is misleading. Okay. 9.7 million YouTube subscribers is not that many.
Yes.
In the I mean, we only have 2,000, so I'm not knocking the hustle.
Yeah.
I'm just saying in the great grand scheme of things,
yeah,
that's not like it's not a number that makes me go like, oh, wow, that's one of the most famous people in the world. He has a line of clothing in Target.
Well, you have to understand.
That's the scope. So if 9.7 million YouTube subscribers and you're like, okay, Blippi has a line of clothing in Target. Blippi is stacking paper. I'm talking printing money. Blippi is going on nationwide tours. Pre-COVID, obviously, he was probably having a lot more success with this. I don't even know if his shit is still going right now. But he was doing tours. I mean, I'm talking about one of the most popular children's icons in the United States, if not in the world, internationally.
Yeah.
Crazy huge, Blippi.
Well, the thing about the subscribers thing, it's very misleading for children's pages. I've done some research into this, and I've seen some video essays on YouTube about this as well, because a lot of kids aren't going to subscribe. They're just going to rack up the views. So, like, you look at some of his videos, they have something, like, some of his videos have, like, 46 million views, 20 million views.
Well,
so
and here's another reason for that. The kids watch the episodes over and over and over and over.
And YouTube's
I have seen every episode of season 1 like 15 fucking times.
Really?
And here's the thing. Season 1 starts out, and it's like, as Chris was saying, like, Blippi will, like, bust into a fucking Discovery Zone and be like, hey, it's me, fucking Blippi. I'm here to party. And the dudes who work there, who have clearly been warned like 15 minutes ago, like, yo, we're filming this thing. Here's our paperwork, are like, what? And he like kicks in the door in his clown shoes with his fucking suspenders and his stupid whirligig hat and his orange glasses. And he's just like, look, kids, it's me, Blippi. And like he goes and does all this shit. If it's like one of those places that's just a trampoline, the floor is just trampolines, he just jumps around and makes noises for 30 minutes, and that's an episode. It's in the can. It's up on fucking YouTube. Boom. By the time season 2 rolls around, you can tell Blippi rich.
But I
Blippi
mean,
production value goes up quite a bit.
now he's doing Blippi explores a private jet. That's like one of his most recent.
Now it'll be like Blippi drives a fucking $40 million bulldozer like through a building. Like Blippi's budget is like he went from like a dude making an indie film in his backyard to Christopher Nolan from seasons 1 to 2, okay? So he got stacks of paper. And I'm just like looking into the scope of this whole Blippi thing, and I'm like, God damn, this guy is rich. If the podcast thing ever doesn't work out, bro, like I'm just gonna put on some stupid clothes and dance around for kids. Because it turns out Blippi started this show, like he started Blippi as a character just to entertain his nephew. Or some shit.
Sure.
And then people were like, oh my God, you're really good at this, John. It turns out his name is. They were like, you should really put this on like YouTube or something.
See what happens.
And it literally took off from there. There's just one slight problem about Blippi.
Okay. What's that problem, Ross?
As it turns out, as the title of this segment alluded to, back in 2013, our beloved Blippi, hero and idol to the children across the globe, he made a gross-out comedy video in which he, naked, took a violent diarrhea shit on his friend, also fully nude, in one of the most offensive Harlem Shake videos ever created, and that's really saying something.
Wow.
So when I'm getting through Blippi, right, like I've Googled him, I see his YouTube, his subscribers, I see his website, I'm looking through the merch, this fucker's selling, I mean, every goddamn thing, Chris. It'd be like,
it's flying off the shelves.
If we blew up enough where we're like, we got to sell fake Chris eyebrows.
Oh.
So people can put their eyebrow.
I'm sure he sells like, glasses, the whirly
glasses,
gig hat,
the hat, the
suspenders.
People are Blippi for Halloween.
Oh no!
They've got Blippi posters, Blippi books, Blippi fucking toys, Blippi Blippi.
How
bubbles,
have I never
Blippi.
heard of this guy?
Because you're 21 years old. You don't hang
That is
around
true.
children. That's why I'd never heard of this guy. I'm 33 and I don't hang around kids that much. This recent experience has brought Blippi into my life, and it turns out, unfortunately.
So he is legit Steve from Blue's Clues now. Like, he is this generation's Steve.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, he's that big.
That's impressive.
But
especially to come from.
More impressive because Steve, network guy. Blippi self-made. Blippi rich.
Rich.
Blippi very rich. Blippi also poop on friend.
And this is a confirmed poop case, unlike unconfirmed OBJ-style poop case.
Yeah, this is not like a fake news story. This is something that BuzzFeed reported on. And before he was Blippi, a described, as BuzzFeed puts it, Mr. Rogers for the YouTube age, he was Steezy Grossman.
Okay. Mr. Rogers for the YouTube age may be a stretch.
He's huge, dude.
But like there are different types of
different angle.
Blippi has to literally
I like our comparison better.
Snort a line of cocaine and then shotgun a C4 with an Adderall in it.
Yeah, but you could argue that like Mr. Rogers had to like smash up a Vicodin and snort it to come out like, "Hi, friends."
I mean,
like, bro, why are you so chill?
I can't argue with that.
In these fucking sweaters. Like, you're so chill.
It was the sweaters. How can you not be chill in a sweater that looks that good?
Yeah, so his real name is Stephen John. Stephen with an I.
Wait, what?
Fucking red flag. Throw it.
Stevin?
Yes, dude.
I've never in my life met a Stephen with an I, I don't think.
I'm just going to read this sentence.
Hit me.
BuzzFeedNews.com. Again, the title of this is Kids YouTube Star Blippi Regrets the Viral Video in Which He Poops All Over His Friend. This is a story that broke in 2019 in February, and this column was written by Katie Notopoulos. Notopoulos? I hope I got that right, ma'am.
Asking the wrong guy.
No disrespect if I didn't. Blippi's real name is Stephen John, and before he began performing as a twee 21st century clown, he was a filmmaker in L.A. He created comedy videos under the moniker Steezy Grossman. He changed his name legally from Stephen J. Grossman to Stephen John. Grossman is his real last name. Grossman. Just remember that as we move forward here in this column.
That's meta as hell. That's super meta, actually.
So he made these comedy videos under the moniker Steezy Grossman, including low-budget, low-brow comedy videos with the titles like Turd Boy and Underwear Man.
Wow.
And Blippi is hardly John's first brush with internet fame. In a hard R-rated twist in a 2013 video that BuzzFeed News has viewed, Stephen Blippi John takes an explosive diarrhea shit on his nude friend's ass in a truly shocking rendition of the Harlem Shake meme.
Do you think they're still friends?
That's a great question. Like, did they recover from that moment? I don't know that you can.
And, like, do you think this man...
But the Jackass guys seem to still be friends, the ones that are alive.
That's true. But do you think this man is now trying to come back for reparations to Blippi? He's like, yo, you popped off.
You know whose life got really fucked up?
Who?
The guy who got shit on. Blippi's still out there getting it.
That's what I'm saying. This guy's trying to come back now and get his bag that he's rightfully owed for setting Blippi on the path to stardom.
Here's the crazy thing. This has all come out. This was 2019. Blippi has literally acknowledged it. He said, yes, I did make a gross out comedy video when I was in my early 20s, long before I started Blippi, in a statement to BuzzFeed News.
I just think it's so funny how you go from Turd Man and, what was it, Underwear Boy or something like that, to Blippi. Literally opposite ends of the spectrum. You could not get further away from each other.
Yeah.
Shitting on... And I kind of want to look it up to try to find the video, but at the same time, I really don't want to see it. But it's kind of appealing just because now I know that he's a child star.
It says, The entertainer, then known as Steezy Grossman, put his own spin on the Harlem Shake meme. In a Harlem Shake poop, set in the interior of a sparse bathroom with a shower stall, you see him sitting on the toilet, pants down around his ankles. He's wearing his tank top, sunglasses, and for some reason, a bicycle helmet. This is like early Blippi. He gently shrugs his shoulders, rolling his arms to the beat. The beat drops, and suddenly the video cuts to Steezy standing sideways on top of the toilet seat, fully nude now, except for helmet and sunglasses.
Sideways on top of the...
On the floor, a friend, whose identity is not known, thank God, leans against the wall in a contorted shoulder stand, his head and neck on the floor, his hips in the air, his legs dangling down. He is also fully nude except for goggles and a swim cap. A black bar has been edited over his genitals, blocking out not just his penis and scrotum, but also the full taint and beehole. After a few seconds of dancing on the toilet, it happens. Steezy emits an explosive stream of shit, a cacophonous eruption that sends feces splattering across the room, and a shotgun-like spray of poop pellets. Shit hits the wall, the glass shower door, the floor, and a sizable chunk hits its intended target, the spread-cheeked ass of his friend. Steezy giggles and continues dancing, as does his friend, for a few seconds until you can hear the unmistakable sound of gagging, though he never stops attempting to wiggle his legs in a dancing motion. It is undeniably, unequivocally fucking hilarious. An attorney for Stephen John sent BuzzFeed News a cease and desist letter asserting his copyright on the video, so we've created an artist's rendition of a scene from it below. Now,
there's no fucking way.
I'm not a big BuzzFeed guy typically. I typically come away from BuzzFeed either wanting to kill whoever sent me the quiz or just like, what, this didn't have any info. This is the type of journalism I live for, and there is literally Katie who wrote this column. Katie, again, Natopoulos, drew a photo because Blippi has been cease and desisting the shit out of this, right? He doesn't want, no pun intended, he doesn't want this video of him poo-pooing on his friend to be on the internet because children, right? And kids who Google Blippi, right? And the next thing they know, they're seeing a video of Blippi take a dump on his boy, right?
And it's
so
over.
That can't happen. That can't happen for Blippi, for Steezy Grossman.
Bro, this artist rendition is fucking hilarious.
So, yeah, man, so they've been cease and desisting it everywhere. You can't even find it. You have to hit, like, the black market of the internet, like the fucking, what's it called?
The black web.
Dark web, dude.
Yeah,
the dark web. You've got to go dark in order to get this. But this video, yeah, you got to go look at it. BuzzFeed News and just search kids YouTube star Blippi and you'll find it. You got to see the artist rendition that Katie drew. It's unbelievable. Now,
I want to know if somebody watched this back in 2013 and then like had a kid or has a niece or nephew and then they were watching Blippi
and then
they were like,
this guy's
oh
face
my.
is like ringing a bell from somewhere. I don't remember where.
And then it was just
And then
light
one day,
bulb
ding.
and it was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's the poop guy.
So, needless to say, when I shared this information with my girlfriend, she was like shocked and appalled. And within a week, bought the little baby her first Blippi book. That's how quickly the information went in and out. Like, she was like, this is insane. Give me the link. I've got to share it with all my mom friends. To, yeah, I'm going to buy that Blippi book.
Yeah.
Because when you're a parent, it's like, your kid's never going to, they don't get, somehow Grossman has found a loophole. And it's that little kids who can't Google or use the internet yet, it doesn't matter if you pooped on your friend back in 2013.
Not at all.
Which is huge for me. Because I never directly shit on any of my people.
That's true.
Both figuratively or literally, I never have.
Good.
But, you know, I did write that book or whatever. And it's like, if I ever want to make that pivot to just purely entertaining small children by doing enormous amounts of hallucinogens and then running through Chuck E. Cheese like a maniac.
Sure.
I want that option.
It is on that's on our whiteboard as a backup. So
We bought a whiteboard, by the way. Bolen Media. 2021.
year the comeback.
Well, this is 2020 year of the comeback.
Currently.
Yeah.
Why 2021? Is that when we're
That's
getting
just when we're taking over with the whiteboard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were taking over now with the whiteboard.
That's just what I tell you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anyway, so it
Fucking
doesn't
Blippi.
matter. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter that he did this. It's hysterical. Like, you think it would be one of those things you would be canceled for, like, especially if you entertain children, that you took a shit on your friend. But really, he was just doing stupid comedy, and like, yes, that is an absurd thing to do, and then one day find yourself in a position to be Blippi. But he shit on his friend. Little kids shit all over themselves constantly. They don't even, if you told a little kid, Blippi took a poop on his friend, the little kid, like an under 2-year-old, would be like, Blippi fucked up.
Or he'd probably be like, Blippi was probably mad. I mean, I'm
watch
sure
some
the
Blippi.
2-year-olds.
I don't think 2-year-olds shit on each other out of anger, dude.
I'm sure it's.
I mean, that would be a
happened
serious
before.
child-like behavioral problem.
You think so?
Yeah.
Just that's like how a dog marks their territory.
Slapping, hitting, or biting are children's issues. If you pull your pants down and spread cheek shit on a friend, something's wrong. Unless you're making a gross out video,
or you
as Stevie Grossman, whatever the fuck.
Or you're into Cleveland Steamers. Can't forget that. We're not kink shaming here.
I am.
I'm looking at
if
this.
If your kink is that you need to be pooped on, go to therapy and find a new fucking kink. What do you mean we're not kink shaming here? No,
I'm not.
It's irresponsible to poop on another person.
You think so?
Unless you're a baby, and then it's fine. Or Blippi, and then it's apparently totally okay as well.
I'm looking at this Stevie Grossman page, and there's a poster of his Turd Boy movie.
Okay.
And it is literally, the premise, from what I can tell, is a man that is a literal turd. So it's a man covered in turd makeup all over his entire body.
Oh, no, I'm looking at it. Dude, I didn't want to see this.
Making out with a woman who now has said turd all over her face.
Yeah, like, you know how during an intense makeout, how a woman might have her lipstick smeared? It's that, except it's poop.
And it's on her face. Everywhere. Yeah, it's not a good look. And then Kim Kardashian's face is right below that. Don't know what that's all about. But hey, Stevie Grossman, man. Proud of him for getting the bag. You got to respect the hustle.
I think Steezy's driving around in a fucking baby blue and orange Lamborghini right now, just laughing it all the way to the bank. But he did shit on his friend, and that's the end of the story, okay?
We have to know if they're still friends.
Now, if you're like,
has insider knowledge, get back to us.
If you're like me and you are stuck watching several hours of Blippi a week at this point, then this next sponsor is for you. RBP 335 is brought to you by Felix Gray Glasses, because Chris and I constantly have our faces in screens from morning to night. There's no cutting back. Now more than ever, in 2020, all of us are relying on technology to get our jobs done, to stay in touch with friends and family. Screens are here to stay. They're unavoidable. You have to protect your ojos. That means eyes in Spanish. And there are a lot of blue light glasses on the market, but they're all shitty compared to Felix Gray. They don't filter out enough blue light, especially in the range that matters. Felix Gray does. All right, 15 times more blue light in the same range than most of those glasses. Most of them only filter out about 2 to 3% in the range that matters. Felix Gray, 15 times more. And too much screen time can result in tired, dry eyes, headaches, blurry vision, trouble sleeping. I've been wearing contacts and glasses since I was a little kid. I'm all too familiar with the symptoms that screen time give you. That's somebody who has trouble seeing in the first place. But I've also got really bad allergies living in Austin. My eyes get itchy, scratchy. By the end of the day, they're tired. My contacts hurt. I throw on my Felix Grays. I've got their Faraday frames and the Nash. Check both of those out on FelixGrayGlasses.com/RBP. The Nash, Nash, and the Faraday, Faraday. Love them both very, very much. Immediate relief when I throw them on. Felix Gray filters out 90% of blue light in the most damaging range and estimates and eliminates 99% of glare, which is also very nice, through a proprietary industry-leading lens technology only available with Felix Gray. 9 in 10 of their customers report significant symptom relief. Their frames are hand-finished from durable, super lightweight Italian acetate. They have over 200,000 happy customers. They're not just the right choice, Felix Gray, the only choice. In prescription, non-prescription, readers, they've got you covered with optical glasses for work, sleep glasses in the evening that are clinically proven to increase melatonin secretion when worn leading up to bedtime. You can try them for 30 days risk-free when you go to FelixGrayGlasses.com/RBP for the absolute best blue light quality, blue light filtering glasses on the market. Excuse me. That's FelixGray glasses, FelixGrayGlasses.com/RBP. Do what I did. Start taking better care of your eyes. Feel better, work smarter. Shipping and returns totally free at Felix Gray. FelixGrayGlasses.com/RBP. Again, FelixGray glasses.com/RBP. Do it now. Next segment. What you need to know about the iPhone update. So first off, I was talking with Chris about this. Remember when every iPhone software update, every new iOS that dropped was such a big deal that we were all like reading into every detail like weeks ahead of time. Like we explored every new feature, every new available app immediately up. Like everybody immediately wanted that shit, and it mattered.
Well, every single one brought these like new and exciting features and things to the iPhone was still so new and novel at the time back then that all the updates we were like, wow, they're really pushing the edge of technology here.
Now we can do this. Now we can do this.
Like I remember,
holy shit, it can scan my face now.
I remember when iOS 7 was about to come out. Remember iOS 7? That was the one that was the first really big one in my life. That was when like the YouTube icon went from an old 1960s style black and white TV to like the super sleek looking widgets that we now have and everything like that. I remember it was such a big deal when it was about to come out. It was supposed to release, I think, at like noon one day.
This is the one that gave us the version of the iOS
that we basically
main screen that we have now.
Yeah, pretty much. It looks
with the individual icons, you know, the way you could organize your home screen, all that shit.
Absolutely. And I remember it was supposed to come out at like noon one day or something like that during the school day. And when it released, so many people at my school attempted to download it at the same time that we literally crashed the school's Wi-Fi because so many people wanted to get the new iOS.
It was installed on 200 million devices within 5 days, and Apple claimed it was the fastest software upgrade in history. Its iOS market share was reported to be as high as 35% after 1 day.
That's fucking insane.
Which
and we were so
the
impressed.
new one has been out for what?
I don't know, a week or two.
And you still don't have the shit.
I don't have it.
And you're 21.
Yeah. I just don't really, like, my phone does what I need it to do. I don't really need to
Who's
do
the
more
boomer
than
now?
That. But, who's
That's
me.
right.
Yeah.
You
but,
are.
like, we were so impressed by the smallest little shit on the old updates. Like, remember when you could first have, like, a motion picture on your lock screen to where when you, like, moved your phone, the picture moved with it? You know what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah.
Like a perspective, and we were like,
Well,
wow!
but that was an example of when it went from like there was this obvious drop off, right? It couldn't be the same level of invention and game changing updates every time Apple put out a new phone, every time they did a new iOS. Eventually, there was gonna be, and I'd say around that time, like, ooh, now my phone fucking can Mona Lisa me if I wanted to. It was when I was like, there was just it became more frequent that you'd get an iOS update and go, oh shit, can't wait to see what's new, and then you go look and it'd be like, you can make folders now.
Or something.
Well, that was actually a huge one. But like, you know what I'm saying? It'd be like some simple shit.
Yeah.
Where
Some
you're
really
like,
simple
oh,
shit.
it's
Or
like-
some stuff that you don't even use. Or they would do something where you're like, oh, I don't even really like this.
Yeah,
Like when
and then there was there's like not a lot of dramatic changes, not a lot of really crazy new shit that would get you excited so that you'd word of mouth talk to your friends about it, like that sort of thing, right?
And they would hype up these features on the new iOS updates and the new iPhones and stuff like that in practice, like, you don't use nearly as much as they said that you would use. Like the suggestive touch thing where it's like the more pressure you put on your phone. I remember when they first were talking about that, they were like, this is the biggest deal that's ever come to an iPhone.
Well, everything they've ever pushed on us, they say, is the biggest deal to ever happen to literally the world.
I do really enjoy this new update, though, from what I can see on Twitter.
Everything is changing.
It seems like the creative type people can really kind of go wild with their app customization and make their phones look really pretty.
So that appears to be the biggest thing here, is that you
can download.
can really rearrange the shit out of your home screen.
You can like download files and then basically upload your own file in place of the app widget and icon that's currently on your screen.
You can make your own widget picture thingy.
Mm-hmm. So you upload them.
So this is iOS 14.
Yes.
We're 7 away from 7.
We are.
The iconic one that Cole's mentioned.
We're twice half the age thing, you know?
And so now you can have widgets on the home screen. That's one of the other big things. They've been totally redesigned to give you more information at a glance. You can add them to your home screen, choose from different sizes, arrange them however you like. So it's not just straight app buttons. You can put widgets like top stories, like stock tickers, like all that good shit. All the widgets that you used to find on just the left side when you swipe left or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
there's an app library now that automatically organizes all your apps into one simple, easy to navigate view.
Oh, that's fancy.
Which is kind of cool. So it's like suggestions, recently added social, entertainment, arcade, creativity, and it just like sort of throws them all up there for you to find easy stuff.
I saw one where you can add your like recent photos to like a big block and to where it basically takes up the size of like where 4 app icons would go.
Love that.
I saw one that was really funny that somebody had saved that picture of the big dick guy. You know what I'm talking about? The guy sitting on the edge of the bed.
Everybody knows what you're talking about.
And
Rest in peace, by the way.
That was the most recent photo, and so on their home screen, it was just him in that box up in the corner of their phone.
Yeah. Now, there's some other big things here. Compact calls. You can finally get a phone call without it, whatever you were doing, being completely... It used to just be so disrespectful. You'd get a call, and it would take up the whole screen.
Oh, yeah.
And you're just like, okay...
You're really invading my space
like,
right
I can't really keep doing what I was doing. No, now it's just a fucking thing at the top, right?
That's huge, actually.
It doesn't fuck with you. Same thing with FaceTime, third-party apps, all calls. You can have them displayed in an all-new compact design that doesn't take up the full screen.
Because I sometimes get angry. Like, I'm in the middle of something, and somebody
like,
gives me a call, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
And I never want to, like, decline, because that's the rudeness.
Sure, so you just,
I just have to sit there and wait for it to get out so I can continue doing what I was doing, because why the fuck are you calling me unless someone is literally dying?
I'll decline. I'll be honest.
I won't just because it feels bad.
Sure.
Another huge one. I recently have started fucking with FaceTime more.
Okay.
And I get it, FaceTime people. I get it. I know I've kind of come at FaceTime before on this show, but I get it. But the problem with FaceTime is if we're FaceTiming and I'm like, hold up, I want to swipe away to go look at this calendar. It used to just X you. You can't.
Pause.
You could no longer see me while I'm off doing this other thing. Well, now it just minimizes you to an upper window, and you guys can do whatever you want. So you can sort of have meetings in a more effective way. It was stupid. Like, so there was a lot of that's where I'm always annoyed. If there's an update to a thing and you didn't fix something stupid and obvious, and this is like fixing and improving a lot of really good shit. So also huge, pinned conversations within your text messages. So in the same way that you have an area of your contacts that's favorites,
okay,
it just holds your 6 pinned messages that you want. So, like, you're up there on mine with, like, my fucking family group text is one, my college friend group text is one, my high school friend group text is one. Like, the most important people that I interact with on a daily basis
are up there,
are pinned up there to the top.
Oh, that's huge.
So that they're easier to access, which is just another, like, cool...
Ease of use.
Improvement to an already great thing. Which
so
is
it sounds like
text
Apple did a
messaging,
good
iMessaging.
job with this one to really eliminate some of the ease of use issues. And I mean, it's kind of sad that it took them this long, especially for things like the FaceTime thing. Like, it's crazy to me that wasn't fixed years ago. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
I mean, it's good that they're getting around to it, I guess.
You can also reply to specific messages in a group conversation now, similar to how on Twitter you might reply to a specific tweet.
So does it go strictly to that person? Do you know? Does it say? Or does it go, like, to the group as a whole, but it replies like a thread?
You can view them in the full conversation or as their own thread for, like, a more focused view.
Got you.
Yeah.
Well, go Apple.
You can mention people now. If you're in a group text and I type your name,
It'll come up.
it'll, like, come up highlighted. When your name is mentioned, it's highlighted. That's fucking tight. You can even customize your group. Like, I have a couple examples of groups that I've got muted because these fuckers don't stop all day, every day. You can have that bitch muted and put it so it only notifies you if your name is mentioned. In new memoji styles and stickers, there's memojis just all over the damn place.
What's a memoji?
It's I don't know. It's the one that you make of you
Oh,
to make you
the
into
memoji?
it. Yeah, memoji.
I think that's what it is.
I say memoji.
It sounds kind of boomer of you.
Does
That's
it? Memoji?
I think that's what it is.
It's
memoji.
my memoji. Yeah,
'Cause
whatever.
it's
It's
a
a
meme.
memoji.
Memoji. Is memoji?
Memoji.
I don't think I've ever
Memojo.
in my life used one of those things. The face tracker emoji things.
I fucked with it like the day it came out. That's an example of one where I was like, why the fuck did I need this?
And that's
you
the- I'm
guys
pretty
couldn't have been
sure-
working on some of this other shit that's annoying.
I'm pretty sure they used the memojis for every single promotional ad of the new iPhone, and I've never used it.
Oh, this is some
One
wild
time.
shit. You can also add a smart stack of widgets intelligently curated based on the apps you use most, and the right widget will show up automatically at the right time in your day.
Wow. So like if you use your fitness app that you use for fitness
Every day at
Every
noon,
day at-
it'll know
to
and fucking
recommend.
pop it up there.
My favorite thing about Apple Maps right now is that I get the notification to like send me where I need to go because it knows kind of my schedule. So like
Yeah.
in the morning it'll be like, do you need to go to Ross's house? And then I'll be like, yes. Although I know the route now, but
The route. So now a lot of changes to the overall general experience on the home screen and the way you can deal with your apps, but also the picture-in-picture FaceTime stuff. I love the changes to the messages, iMessages. I don't really give a shit about the emojis or memojis. You can use maps to get cycling directions and use bike lane. I don't fucking. Congratulations, bicycle people. And yeah. Oh, the other thing I noticed that was crazy is Translate. That automatically delivers a new app to your phone. That's called Translate.
okay.
That you pull up and you can enter text or voice it, and it'll translate anything from anything to anything. From one language to any other. So if you're traveling,
We're getting so close to just the earpiece
Yeah.
that you can speak different languages and shit like that. We're so close. That's all
Yeah.
I want out of life. That'd
That
be the
shit's kinda
invention to
tight.
change everything. If I could just have an earpiece in my ear that I would hear English as somebody speaks to me. Because the issue with the Translate apps is they take so long. You have to record somebody, then you got to let it process. And then if you're in like rural France, what's to say that you're going to have 5G out there? Probably not. So then you got to wait for it to come back out.
they're
and
like, "Do you want me to stab you?" And by the time it's fucking translated, they've already done it.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
you're dead in
And you're-
France
And then you're dead.
as your phone speaks to you and you're bleeding out slowly on the cobblestone ground. That's not what we want. So we need those earpieces. That's what Apple needs to be focused on right now.
Oh, you can start cars with your iPhone now. Anyway, cool shit. First one in a while that I've been like, oh, I need to look into this. Oh, I need to get familiar with all the different stuff. Chris, you had a story about biology class you wanted to share with us.
That was the one I was talking about with that we crashed the Wi-Fi.
Because so many people were trying to download it at
It
once.
used to be like literally the biggest. It was such a big deal. I remember a kid also figured out a way that you could get a beta. You could get on the iOS 7 beta if you went to this certain website and then you had to download it a certain way. And it was like a really big deal to try to get this beta code from him. Like he was the most popular kid in school for like a week.
I feel like the other thing that really prevents people from immediately diving into this now is that it's overwhelming. Like there
Sure.
are so many changes. So really, I just want to know the big ones that I'm going to use up front. And then it's like, I get that there are all the other ones, but them shit's like, there's too many things they fuck with every time now. And I think that's why people started moving away from being so interested in what was happening that. And then, of course, there being too many iOS updates that didn't have something that was even big enough to really talk about for enough people.
I would love to like take the time to go in there and really fix around my home screen and make it look all nice.
That's
and
what
pretty
I'm
and
going to do. I
aesthetic.
like the customizable aspect of that.
I just feel like that's gonna take so much time and effort.
I was kind of looking forward to like a new, because I had found, I mean, we did a whole segment a couple years back about like the way I organize my home screen and my folders, and like I only have like half of it used on both sides so that I got more of my picture and shit like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what I can do with this and coming back with a full report
Mine's a shit
on
show.
the best way to organize your home screen with the new iOS, considering the amount of changes and customizable options with the home screen and presentation and whatnot now. Fun!
The more you know.
RBP 335 is also brought to you by Hawthorne. Too many dudes I know picked out a cologne in high school and just never changed it. Been wearing it ever since. It's a disaster. You smell like a high school gym locker room or a teen apparel store in the mall. But smelling good is important, and that's where Hawthorne comes in. Hawthorne smells really, really good, and getting their cologne is so very easy. When you go to hawthorne.co, you take a very quick and easy quiz to figure out which scents are best for you. It legitimately takes 2 minutes, and just by taking it, you'll see exactly what Hawthorne is doing for you, hitting you with the two best colognes, one for work, one for play. They're both for you. Totally risk-free shipping and free returns. They also have other incredible personalized products like deodorant, shampoo, body wash. I have all of it. It's fucking great. I use their shampoo, their conditioner, their body wash every single day. Incredible smelling, incredible cleaning power. It's fucking awesome. I love it. The quiz you take, again, is super easy, and it'll ask you all the questions you've ever wanted to be asked about your hair and skin type and such, straight or curly, oily or dry, all that good stuff. And Hawthorne is going to get you everything your skin, hair, and body need to stay so fresh and so clean. Check them out at hawthorne.co. That's Hawthorne with an E on the end, and use my promo code ROSS, ROSS, to get 10% off your first purchase at Hawthorne. That's HAWTHORNE.co, and use my code ROSS to get 10% off your purchase, Hawthorne.co, code ROSS. Next segment, Monday Mental Health Minute. So I got to spend some time with some friends I have not seen all of 2020. Together, anyway. It's a couple. I've seen the dude once or twice. But just in general, none of us have gotten to spend as much time with our people in 2020. It's been a mess, right? So I got to spend time at these people's house with their son and hang out and watch some sports and have some food, which, again, it does not sound like something all that special. But when I was leaving, I had the thought, like, that meant a lot. Like, that it meant a lot to me, that experience. And that's not something that would have ever occurred to me pre-COVID. It's just another example of something that we should all come away from the pandemic with a new perspective on stuff like this. There are a lot of things we take for granted. And something as simple as just being able to go over to a friend's house and enjoy their company for a couple hours. Doing fucking nothing. Talking generally about nothing too important. Ragging on politics. Laughing about how we have no idea when this will end. In either instance. It was just very cathartic. I mean, it really, really, really made my weekend. It was a great weekend anyway, but just made it a lot better. And I mean, that was powerful to me, that realization that, like, fuck, dude, like, you know, last year, for example, that's never something that would have occurred to me driving away. If anything, I would have just been like, fuck, I'm psyched, I'm ready to get home. But I had no idea how much I could miss some of the things I miss. I had no idea how much I needed some of the things I needed that we no longer have. I had no idea how much I could miss standing in an overcrowded restaurant with smelly, disgusting humans waiting for a Sprite from the bar before I had to stand 6 inches from my friend who's screaming directly into my face so that I can hear him because it's so fucking loud in Matt's El Rancho. Like, I took that for granted. And this year has taught me, at least that's one of the gifts our generation, or the people that survive this will have to take from it. Like, moving forward, no more bitching about some shit. And like, don't take some of this stuff for granted that we have, man, because we have so much, and we have been so blessed as just from a societal standpoint. And, you know, there are a lot of different arguments to be made here, but overblessed is sort of the way I look at it. Like, it makes it so easy for us to overlook the most important things in our lives because we have such complicated, crazy world, this crazy world that we've built. And this year, as so many have said, forced us all to slow down and look at what really matters. And this is, you know, to me, to frame it up in our Monday Mental Health Minute, it's incredibly important to have good perspective, as I said 1,000 times in 2019. And in 2020, when you're struggling with your mental health as a result of the circumstances in your life or the world, I think that finding perspective and small joys in the places that you can is enormous. And it's something that I probably didn't do a good enough job. Well, I know I didn't do a good enough job with previously, and it probably negatively impacted my experience. That I didn't get to enjoy some of the things I should have as much as I should have because I was taking them for granted. And I'm looking forward to coming away from this shitstorm with that lesson at the very least, right?
Absolutely. And I had the chance, like I talked about a couple times last week, I had the chance to go home last week for 2 days, 3 days really, 2 nights. And one of the nights that I was home, I had the opportunity to...
Well, you had to go home.
Well, I had to go home, yes.
Yeah.
I it wasn't a choice, but
Yeah.
I did have to go home.
Just being real.
No, 100%. And I would love to get into that another time, too, and talk about that whole situation.
Well, now people are like, what happened?
Okay,
Chris killed a guy.
No, didn't do that. Thank God. Could have been a lot worse, if I'm being honest.
Well, I guess in the situationally, not a good joke.
Yeah, maybe a little tender.
Not
there.
a good joke.
Long story short, I was at a wedding. I blacked out. I was supposed to have a ride back to a hotel, and some way or another, found myself in the side of a ditch in my car that I had attempted to drive home. Cop came behind me. Got a
And this was
WI. This was November of last year, of 2019.
right.
And so that was a very, very long process. Obviously, COVID extended that process. My very first court date for that was in January of last year. And again, it's now September, and it just now got resolved when I went home last week, which was a huge weight off my shoulders because I was just so ready to get it done.
Yeah, it
with.
fucking blows having court, and a pending court date is just not a good thing to have. But the point being, you got to go home.
Yes. November and December were probably the two toughest months of my leading up to this was probably the toughest month of my life just because I really had no clue where I was going next at all. I felt extremely lost. I was very, very depressed. I was like 139 pounds soaking wet. Like I was pretty addicted to Adderall at the time. I was popping an Adderall like every other day, eating like one meal a day, wasn't working out, wasn't taking care of myself. Wasn't a good time in my life.
Of people just heard you say every other day and went,
What?
Oh, I know a lot of Adderall babies, man.
Oh,
they take that shit every day.
Oh yeah,
player,
but like this wasn't
20
prescribed.
years.
But this wasn't like prescribed to me. You know what I mean?
Okay, you were abusing it every other day.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It wasn't good, and I mean, I was like cutting pills in half to be able to like get more days out of them. Type
you
of
went
thing.
crackhead with it.
Yeah, like it definitely wasn't great.
So
this happened.
I seen it, not with Chris, but I seen it.
The accident really, going on the perspective thing, put a lot of things in perspective in the sense that, like, at the time I was 20, so obviously you have this kind of sense that, like, nothing that bad has happened to me yet, so it's not very difficult for me to think nothing bad is ever going to happen, you know? I'd kind of gotten away with little shit over the years.
Oh, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, and finally this happens, and it was obviously a wake-up call.
Nothing bad is ever going to happen.
It was a massive wake-up call.
Now a lot of people who nothing bad has ever happened to are going.
And then there was a lot of anger there too because I didn't remember making the decision. I didn't remember getting in the car. So I was like mad at myself for not being in a space where I could even remember it. And it was like a very difficult thing to deal with. And after that, I really spent a lot of time looking inwards. And I realized that if I was going to be happy and find purpose, then it was going to be within myself, not all these outside sources I was looking for at the time. And so that's what I did, and I really focused on myself, and it really led me to changing emotionally and spiritually and leading me down the path that I'm at now. And so it was a really weird thing when I was home because without that happening and causing me to pivot and have that realization and that mindset change, I don't think I would be here today doing what I'm doing now. And so it was almost something that the universe kind of needed to happen in a sense, and it's just a blessing that I didn't get hurt or anybody else didn't get hurt. But regardless, I got to be home last weekend to get that taken care of, which again was a massive weight off my shoulders because I'm in such a different place now, headspace, area of the world, everything, et cetera, et cetera. And it was time that I close that chapter of my life and continue moving forward with what I'm doing now. And
that's always such a burden when you have something lingering that, you know, I mean, you started to transition away from that phase of your life before I met you even, probably.
Yeah.
So several months ago. But you can't really close the chapter until you go through the court date or whatever it is. There's lots of different instances of things that happen like this in life where you're like, I'm ready to come on, man. I'm ready to like move, but you got to go through the shit before you can get through the other side. My experience in this world has taught me that, and taught a lot of people for thousands of years before me, everything bad that happens to you or that you cause to happen to yourself, every tragedy that occurs, every horrible speed bump that you hit, it can be used as a positive. I mean, that's I'm talking down to the worst crimes you can commit as a human being. Murder and shit. Like, there are guys who have done horrible, and women, there's men, living, breathing humans, who have done terrible things, committed atrocities under the influence of like drugs, alcohol, insanity, and then found ways to live productive lives behind bars for the rest of their time on this planet and become peaceful people. It can be done. You can turn any negative into a positive. It's just very, very, very difficult in the case of something like being a psychopath and killing someone or something, obviously. I'm just saying, any circumstance can be flipped with the right amount of work and yes, like, you know, for you, this mistake that you made ended up being something that led to positivity and a lesson learned, hopefully. But in the case of many people, that's not the way it goes at all. And for a lot of people, especially the first time they get in big trouble, they snowball that shit. Like, that's what I did, because it's almost like you got caught and you're angrier because you got caught, so you further rebel sort of thing. So it's just to even have the wherewithal at 21 or at 20, when you were 20 at the time, I guess.
Yeah.
To know, like, well, this is a pretty big, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a big wake-up call. But I know there are people listening who are like, damn, if I drove my car off into a ditch, I would change my whole life up. And I know there are people listening who are like, I have done that still rage, like, and probably drink and drive. So all of us have to decide how we're going to respond to the mistakes we make in the circumstances that life throws our way. And in the case of that one, you seem to have done a really good job. And as somebody who also at one point made the mistake of drinking and driving and got arrested, and in my case, fully charged with it. Yeah, man, it's something that I'm a little ashamed of still. Like that it's something because the putting other people in danger element of it 100%. Is what I have trouble getting past.
Absolutely,
but it's something that I've moved past in a long time ago and forgiven myself for, because I was very, very young and very naive. And I would say to a lot of our younger listeners, I know, you know, from 18 to even 30, you know, when shit hits the fan, it can really feel like, oh, fuck, man. That's it. I blew my chance. My life is over. And that's insane. Like, you have so many more opportunities, hopefully over the course of a long lifetime of another 60, 70 fucking years, to write your own story and shape this thing out however you want it to look. So you can never let one bit, even if no matter how big the error, I mean, no matter how stupid the mistake, no matter how tragic the tragedy, there is a way back from it, and you can turn the ship around, and you just no giving up. Like, to close out, you know, what was this, Suicide Prevention Awareness Month? There's always a way to turn things around, and sometimes you can't do it alone, but you can do it with help. You just have to ask. So.
And for me, the biggest thing what was really difficult for me is I was so angry, but I wasn't angry at myself yet, because I was trying to find other things to blame at the time. And I was the universe is extremely intentional. I know this now. Like, it was a blessing that nobody else got hurt. It was a blessing that I didn't get hurt. And to me, it was like, over time, I began to actually look in the mirror, and I was like, okay, you fucked up. Like, I had to take the blame on myself and realize, like, this was me.
Sure.
And nothing is going to be fixed if I don't fix it. And it was kind of the realization that, like,
well, obviously,
I have to do this shit. Yeah, but, like, for a long time, that was something that, like, I thought things were just going to kind of work out. Because, like, high school, I just kind of coasted through because I was really good at school.
That's what I'm telling you. It's like you cannot undersell the importance of life experience. This is why I stress so much that you speak to your elders and talk to your grandparents and glean as much knowledge from your parents as you can, because you don't know fuck.
Yeah.
Like, at all. I remember being 20 and thinking I knew everything in the world, and like having the strongest opinions about shit, and like the energy to talk about it all day. And eventually life will fucking hand you the card that puts you in your place. Like, it is inevitable. Like, every single one of us goes through these exact same levels of naivete when we are young and ignorant. Really, that's what it is. It's levels of ignorance, some of which I'm still peeling away in my 30s. Like, up into my 30s, you still peel them away, because it's only life experience can fix some of the dumb shit that privilege will hand you. I'll say that. Also, electricity. We take electricity for granted. The power went out at Bolen Media HQ this morning as a result of violent winds, and Chris and I just kind of sat there like...
It's like some Haunting of Hill House type shit.
Welp. It's absolutely bonkers to think about what life would be like without electricity. Like, there would be no internet. My Tesla stock would be worthless. No podcasts. I'd just be yelling into the forest at no one in particular.
Well, I mean, civilizations have had electricity for, 50,000 years probably, like I was saying.
What?
Free energy. Universal free energy, We were talking about it last night,
I got no fucking clue what you're talking about.
I went on a rant last night and kind of went down the rabbit hole. Down the rabbit holes.
Oh, I was there for the
Yes.
rant, but I don't know what you're talking about in regard to electricity and 50,000 years of it.
I don't think it was 50,000 years. I was just making a joke.
Weird joke, Chris.
Okay.
Weird joke. Don't joke about electricity. This shit's not funny. There'd be no
Not when
internet.
it goes out. Bruce was so scared. I felt so bad.
Well, he tripped because we were watching Blippi, and again, it might have been Blippi that caused the internet to go out. But it was not a normal, like, power goes out. It was like a shuddering, like, weird horror movie
No,
effect.
seriously. I thought we were getting exercise.
At some point, this happened to somebody who does horror movie special effects, and they were like, that shit's
That's
going in the
it.
fucking next movie. And then they made it happen. So don't take electricity for granted either. And that's the end of the Monday Mental Health Minute. Before you head out to take on the world, it's time for some very important announcements. First and foremost, you've been saddled with 3 legal obligations as a result of having listened to this entire podcast, the first of which is that you must rate and review. Then you can check that box and move on to number 2, which is to share the show with one person this week. Any one individual. Word of mouth, biggest way we grow. So share the show. One friend, one family member, one coworker, one neighbor. I don't give a crap. As long as they have the means and you think they might enjoy RBP and what we do here. A comedy show with a focus on mental health, current events, sports, news, music, animals, etc. Share RBP. Check that box and move on to number 3. Support our sponsors for supporting us. We had 3 today. FelixGrayGlasses.com/RBP. Big shouts to Felix Gray. I really do love their glasses and wear them every single day. Could not more highly recommend them. LiquidIV.com, code Ross. Again, Liquid IV has been a phenomenal sponsor of RBP for years. They keep me hooked up with a supply at the crib, too, so that Chris and I can drink them before we work out, during streams, stuff like that. LiquidIV.com, code Ross. They're phenomenal. And then, of course, Hawthorne.co, code Ross. Been using their shampoo, conditioner, and body wash for over a year now. They're awesome. Love Hawthorne's products. Hawthorne.co, code Ross. Support our sponsors who support us and keep us in business. Those are your 3 legal obligations. Check all 3 boxes. I will call off the lawyers, call off the dogs. We don't have to see each other in court. We can all live long and prosper. I appreciate you. If you want to follow us on social media, we are on Instagram at the Ross Bolen Podcast. We're on Twitter at Ross Bolen Pod. We're on Facebook.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. My name is Ross Bolen. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at WRBOLEN, at WR Bolen, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. You can catch us live Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. Central. Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. Central. Twitch.tv/Boss Rollin. Twitch.tv/BOSSROLEN. We are live with video cameras pointed at us while we play video games with podcast listeners and respond to people in the chat. Twitch is an awesome platform. Come through this Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 7 p.m. Central. Chris, where can everybody follow you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at Q0ULS. You can find me on Instagram at ChrisSC99. And you can find me on Snapchat at Chris_Coulson. That's COULSON.
Check out Bolen Media's television and film podcast, Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, available wherever the Ross Bolen Podcast is available. Last week we covered the results of the Emmys. If you missed them or you caught them, it was a fun recap and discussion of the 2020 Emmys, one of the more unusual award shows that have ever been hosted on this planet based on the circumstances. We've also been covering Lovecraft Country on HBO. We're picking coverage back up this week of, I think, episodes 6 and 7, if I'm not mistaken. We're covering The Boys Season 2 on Amazon up through the most recently released episode, which I believe is 5 or 6, if I'm not mistaken. And then we are also covering Yellowstone, starting Season 2 soon on Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. I would argue the greatest television and film podcast in the entire world, hosted by myself and Mr. Barrett Dudley, also brought to you by Bolen Media. I have no bias. And that will do it for RBP 335, produced by Mike Moody Garcia of Permanent Record Studios in Austin, Texas. We will be back Wednesday with RBP 336, and of course on Friday with another ad-free exclusive premium edition of RBP on patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast for dues-paying members of the RBP gang, pledging their monthly support to keep the podcast growing, not just showing. Minimum of just $5 monthly on patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. Come through, support the show, get more RBP. You are not alone. Podmen get paid. Respect Mr. Park, strength and honor. Gang, 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 Coles.
Peace be with you.
And also with you.